as I've just come back from a run. Yet again, everything kicks off just as I come back from a run. Just got back as it was. So breaking news, and this is now being coming out there from all sorts of people. The United stand. This is all over the shop now. Is that an official Baleba bid is coming in? This is different from what we reported the other day. That and Baleba bid was on the table and went in. So this is now more of an official Baleba bid. This is once again only coming in from Ross Harwood. I'm gonna give him a big shout out again because he was right. He was big up Danny B. So it looks like Ross Harwood has done it again. Now this isn't just from Ross Harwood. Now this is coming in from the United stand. So this is on there as well. We've been consistent on this. Ross Harwood's been consistent on this. We went early on this one. We've spoken about this logically. It made sense. We've spoken once again about. I've spoken about my logical thought process on this one, why I think it's going to happen, why, again, when you follow the news and you get sent stuff and you don't listen to everything else that's in the ether, 70% sure we'll get this deal done by next week. I think we need to get this done. I think we're going to get this deal done by the end of the window. It's going to be a huge bid. Now, what is being reported out there for Baleba is that Amarin is demanding this. Amarin wants this. There was a board meeting today where Amarin made it clear that he needs this player. This club wants Champions League football. This club wants to compete again. So Amarin has gone to the board and he's asked for this player. There's a credit facility there that they can use, and they're gonna put in an official bid. Now United don't put in official bids until there's an indication from Brighton or from the selling club that basically the bid's going to get accepted. So Turkey, hello Nuri, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Tell you what, Turkey are trying to get some players in, aren't they? The Turkish league's going to be really, really good this season. Lamens and Baleba, I don't know if Lamens is going to get done, mate. If we've spoken on here about Lamens as well, and a keeper, and how we hope that this will get done. I'm still hoping that it can get done, but I don't know at this point. I think it depends on how quick we get the Baleba deal done. So if you have just joined, don't forget to drop us a like. Again, I think we're going to be proved right on this one. While everyone else was up and down, we remain consistent. Are you from the UK, D-Gold? Yes, I am. I am from the UK. I'm from a place called Essex. Obviously, depending on where you're from as well. Hopefully the sound is okay. Going to be hard to move on. Sabayinda, I'm not bothered, really, to be fair. Say a bottle of wine. A bottle of wine. Are you, D-Gold, are you in the States, or where are you from, my friend? So if you have just joined, don't forget to drop us a like, give us a favourite, give us a subscribe. Hey, Jake Ball. Hey, Tulip. King Joe says, the cutting in of the ceiling is diabolical. Hope you never paid for that. No. No, I'm from Nigeria. No, I didn't pay for that. That was my own dab hand. But thank you though for noticing the ceiling. People can tend to talk about football, but no, if you want to talk about my ceiling, that's all good for me. And obviously, I love that word as well, so that's good. So I will say in the chat, obviously, just get into the chat. I don't mind a little bit of banter. That's really good. How do you see a Nigerian? How do you say Nigerian? Nigerian. Don't forget to Don't forget to like the. You are a United fan, Dennis Asher. I would have thought the name the United Devil channel would have given it away, but yes, I am a United fan. Brother, please work on cutting the technique. Joe, I don't need to. I don't paint that often. Most of the time, you're not going to see that anyway. I'm not a painter. That's not what I do. Joe King, I'm a City fan. City fans are welcome here. Banter is always welcome as long as we are respectful in the chat. You may talk about my cutting in technique all you like. That's all good, my friend. Didn't see that, silly me. Dennis, you are more than welcome here, my friend. When you hear Nigeria, what comes into your mind? What comes into my mind? I've worked with a lot of Nigerian people. Hospitality comes into my mind. In my mind, I went to a wedding the other day, and it was a Ghanaian, Nigerian, all sorts of people there, just really friendly, hospitable. That's what comes to my mind. That's my experience anyway. Joking says Cardiff City. Oh, I'm gonna upset you now, Joe, because I'm originally from Swansea. So, but you're more than welcome here. Joe King talk about football. He can say what he likes. Didn't see that, silly me. When you hear Nigeria, what comes into mind? Franco, coach me, Vocal Studio. How true is the Baleba news? Okay, so I'll explain. So if you've never been here, before, I'll explain what happens here, right? So what we do on here is we talk about stuff from a logical perspective. So Shesko wise, right? I'll go to Shesko first. We were right on here. We spoke about it. We spoke about all sorts of strikers. We spoke about so many different things. Got a feeling it's going to be an unpredictable season. Dennis, I think you're right, mate. I think City could go first. I've seen some predictions that City will finish third. I don't think they'll finish third. I think they'll finish second. Good after Sir Baleba in the midfield. I see you don't finish in top 4 this season. I'd like to think so, but I don't think we will do. Some people see Nigeria as scammers, which is wild. I think it depends on your experience. I think some people see certain parts of the UK as scammers as well, my friend. I think it depends on your experience with people. We need Baleba ASAP. Yeah, obviously that's not going to happen. So where's this come from? So I'll go back and I'll give you an example. Is that so? Ornstein, Romano, obviously those two guys, whenever they say it's a here we go, we've already done all the legwork and sort of hard work, and then they come in with the last bit. Now, Ross Harwood, check him out on X. Okay, look at his timeline, look at the previous videos that we've done on this as well, and it's not just about Ross Harwood, and it's not just about picking a random person. Okay, I go back through it all. On here, we discuss certain things and we look at the player, we look at the profile, we look at the age, we look at the deal, we look at everything that we think that we could possibly do, and we come to a logical conclusion. So we were right on Shesko when everyone else was using clickbait to draw you in. We were having discussions on here and we were right on that one. The Baleba stuff, Ross Harwood was right on that as well the whole way through. He's been right on Rasmus, he's been right on so many different things. Now I agree that the Ornstein and the Romano thing, this is where we all need to, but this is also now going into the mainstream. This is on the United stand, so obviously they're a massive platform. Respect to them, they're talking about it as well. We've been talking about Baleba and how confident we are on the deal for quite some time. This is just based on opinion. This is based on logical assumptions as well, based on the credit facility in place, based on sales. We've spoken about this so much, and don't forget to give us a like, favorite and subscribe, even if you don't like me, right? Or you don't like the cutting in of the ceiling. Just get into the chat, because this chat is fantastic, and we may Tulip play again. We've said this about a couple of things now, and we're going to be proved to be right again. Good after. We need Baleba. City will push for the title. I don't disagree. Willie Kalu, say hi. Hello, my friend. I love the an accent. Rasmus Rasmus is improving, can't lie. Rasmus has gone, mate. As we've already said today, I think Rasmus has gone. Rasmus has gone to AC. Yeah. Dennis Asher, we should just splash the cash and get this guy Baleba. No doubt we have the money. Danny B, 52 watching, 7. Exactly. Give us a like. Don't be stingy. It really helps us out. I have a commitment on here, right? So you might as well give me a like, because you're going to get bored of me, right? Because I'm going to keep on coming on and doing this stuff. So I'm kind of, you're sort of stuck with me now, right? I'm not a dictator on here. I try, I think it's really important for people to have their say. Whether you're from a different club as well, feel free to come on and give us your opinion, really, as long as it's respectful to the other people in the chat. Give us your opinion on that. I think City, if they splash the cash on Baleba, I think with City, because of Rodri, do you really kind of need Baleba as well? I mean, you probably do. He's one of the best players in the league. I think that hands off him, he's ours. But if he did go to City, City again would be, I think, an unstoppable force. This is why I think he's such a good player. But we need to catch up to City, right? That's what we need to do. We need to make strides to catch up to City. They're spending. I think they've spent really, really wisely. I think Liverpool have spent really, really wisely. So this Baleba deal for me just sort of put us up there. They just bought Nico and Rangers too. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be such an unpredictable season. So if you have just joined, breaking news that United are going to put in an official bid. There was a board meeting today where Amorim basically said, look, get me this player. I need this player. Now there's a rolling credit facility. Rasmus has gone to AC Milan, 6 million loan fee with 40 million option to buy, not a requirement to buy. So it's just an option to buy. You got Sancho, he's going to go out the door. There's all sorts of talk now with Sancho about where he's going to go. Into Milan. So that's what I've seen today with Sancho, into Milan possibly. So all these factors involved in the credit facility means that Baleba, we can do it. We're not going to pay, even if it's 120 million. So I guess my question to the chat, and is a question to City fans, question of Liverpool fans, or like whoever's on here, is 120 million too much for Baleba? Now, what we got to think about is Pogba. When we bought Pogba, if you look tight for inflation, he was around about 122 million, the equivalent of 122 million, 130 million quid. So, are we getting a bargain deal here? Are we getting a player 21 years old? If you look out his stats, he's a beast, right? He's an absolute beast, and he could be that instrumental player that you need to kick on to the next level. Now, obviously, what happens with us is, Liverpool bought Verts, 100 and whatever it was. People are disputing the price, 105, 110, whatever it is, right? It is a lot of money, right? No one's really blinking an eyelid at that. Again, a Bundesliga player. I'm not disputing the signing. I'm not going to dispute that he's going to be a good player, but nobody's looking at that. From a Leverkusen German league, he's done it in the German league. Does that mean it translates to the Premier League? It probably will do, but the critique of that signing and the focus is not on that signing. All the focus is on, again, it's on us, the signings that we make. It's almost even before Baleba's even been signed. 90 plus 15. I think that we said that on here, didn't we, Danny B? It was going to be between like 85 plus 20, 90 plus 15, 95 plus 15. I think it's going to be around 105 to 110 mark. Rice Casino, well worth the money. No, exactly that. When you look at Rice, they bought Rice. Okay, did they win the Champions League? No. Did they win the Premier League? No. I'm not saying that Rice is not worth the money, but they spent £100 million on him. What did he do? Did he win in the league? No. Was he the missing piece of the puzzle? No. Does it mean he's not worth the money? No. Is he worth the money? Yes, because he's part of the picture. Casido, Casido probably doesn't get enough limelight necessarily, but does he go about his business every week? Yeah. Did they win the league? No. Again, it's these players are worth the money, but you got to look at the position that they play. So if you have just joined, United are about to put in its imminent and official bid for Baleba. So we'll see that. So we'll see our hand. There was a board meeting where Amorim basically said that he wants this player, and they're going to go out and they're going to see what they can do. I think there is a price that Brighton will sell. Of course they will. They know exactly what they're doing. But how much is our official bid going to be? We don't put in official bids unless we've had indication from them about the price. So they may say, look, we want 120. We'll go, look, 110. And they'll go, well, it's sticking a bid and see. So we may go 110 and they'll go, okay. Or we'll go like 105. They'll go, no, like 115. So I think it's anywhere between 105 and 115. And I think we now have to get this deal done. I think, as the title of the video said before, it was Baleba or bust. And I think that's where we are on that one. Sorry for Rasmus. Dennis, although he was bad, so as the team would have liked to see him given another chance to these players behind him. Dennis, I agree with you, mate. I think that's a really intelligent, I think that's a really fair comment to make, my friend. I do feel badly for Rasmus. He wasn't given a fair crack of the whip in terms of the players that he had. Was he given a fair crack of the whip as a player? Yes, because he came in and led the line. And there are certain aspects to his game that I don't think are good enough. Even still, I think Amorim played a blinder in pre-season. I was critical of his runs. I was critical of his play when he came into pre-season. He had one or two decent games, did a header, and because the games were on Man Utd TV, people go crazy over it. They go absolutely mental. Now, I would have liked to have seen him stay to play a second-rate striker, but I don't see the point in. He's still not going to learn, is he? You've got a 22-year-old. I worry a little bit for Šeško. I'm not too worried because he's played 28 games in the Champions League already. So I'm not too concerned about him. But Baleba, for me, if you have just joined, there's an official bid imminent. Where's that from? There's a guy called Ross Harwood. Check him out on X. Check his timelines for Šeško. Check his timelines for Baleba. Check his timelines for Højlund. He's been absolutely fantastic on this. He's aligned with what we do on here. Check out our videos of not just me, by the way. This is a community. You're welcome here. Don't forget to give us a like. As I say, get in this community. It's one of the best communities. So Donnarumma deal is not happening. I think for a couple of reasons. I think that he's too expensive. I don't think we're going to break the wage structure for him. City are in for him as well. City. Yeah, I think that we're not at that level yet, and this is something that we have to accept. Right? Is that we're trying to get there. Okay. Newcastle found this out the hard way. Right? They've got Champions League, and they thought that they just go for players. And they're going to come to him because they've got Champions League. And they learnt the hard way on this one. It's a bigger club, comes in, and that's sort of end of that, right? And we almost kind of need to be. We don't have to accept it. I don't accept it on the basis that we should win the league every season for who we are. We should keep our standards up. If City come in for a player, we should battle City for a player. And we should win that race, okay? But we're not that club right now. And if City come in for a player, whether I like it or not, we have to be realistic on this. So City have come in for him, and that's where I've gone. City will go for him. I never really thought we were going to get him for the reasons of I thought it was too expensive. I don't like how he behaves. He basically runs his contracts down. We had to be in the race, or we had to inquire about him because he's one of the best keepers in the world, or perceived to be one of the best keepers in the world, but that's not going to happen. So I would have put Heated in goal on Sunday. I don't disagree with you, my friend. Lemens, again, I don't understand why we wouldn't do this deal. 17 million for me, I think, is a cracking deal. For Lemens, I'd be all over that deal. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. I'd be all over that every day of the week. The Onana thing won't leave, or we'd have got him. Do you think we'll beat Arsenal? That's a good question. I predicted a 2-2 or 2-1 to us. We may catch Arsenal cold, but it relies on, and because we're home, right? We're home, so we should have the advantage. But you just don't know with this team. I think it's going to be a 2-1 or 2-2. As Danny B says, a 3-1 would be great. But then do we do a 3-1 and then come tumbling back to earth against Fulham? And then, so what I want to see from me is it's not the win against Arsenal. So if we win against Arsenal, that almost means nothing to me if we don't follow it up with a win. So if we beat Arsenal, Fulham, and there's no disrespect to Fulham. Fulham are a great side. We're away to Fulham. Silva's a cracking manager. They are a really set outfit. They all know the plays. They know their team. I think they're a really, really good team. We've got to beat them as well. So I don't see the point in going to Arsenal and Fulham. I think those two games will tell you pretty much what will be the season this season. First three games, 3 wins, JB. Danny B, I really hope so, my friend. Eugene, Baleba is a good midfielder, but that amount of money is too huge. And I think this is where I think the fan base will be split on that as well. So I'll tell you where I'm at on Baleba. If you just join, give us a like. It literally just pressing like on it, right? Just give us a quick like. It really helps us out, okay? Even if it's not for me, for the community, give a like for Baleba. Give us a like for We've Believed in Baleba as well. We are a believer. Don't believe the source, but I'd pay 100 for him. IF Titty. Yep, again, I respect your opinion on that one. I think a lot of people just go on Fabrizio, right? But there are some people out there, and whether or not Ross Harwood for me he's had lucky guesses. You look at the Shesko timeline, you look at the Baleba timeline up until now, you look at the Rasmus stuff. You can't guess that. I mean, we've used logic on here, and if you look at our stuff that we've done with this amazing community, we've been very consistent. We predicted Shesko when all the other channels, and he's not a dig at them. Okay, I get it. I get what they do. I get what they're about. They've got a massive fan base, and they have to, hedge their bets. What we do is we talk about it within the video, right? We talk about, some people say, I'll give you the best example, all right? So, Calvert-Lewin, I was convinced that he was going to come. If you watch the earlier videos that I did any of the stream, and I'm like, Calvert-Lewin's come in, I can't believe he's come in, just based on a feeling, based on previous what we've spoken about. And this chat was like, no. Somebody in the chat was just like, no, he's not coming. A couple of people were just like, he's not coming, don't worry about it. I was convinced. And on that occasion, the chat was right. The community is right. Between us, we pretty much called it in terms of timelines. We've called it in whatever we've done on here. And we're going to do it again, I believe, with the Baleba deal. So there's an imminent official bid going to go in to Brighton for Baleba. This has come from not just from Ross Harwood. Ross Harwood is an independent guy. Check him out on X. Check his timelines. If you don't believe him, okay, that's up to you. We've gone with him quite a bit on here. I'll shout him out as much as I possibly can. I think he's been brilliant, and we've gone with him on the basis that we look at our timeline on here. We talk about our logic on here. I keep saying that word. We look and we discuss it on here, and we have been consistent for quite a while. Shesko, we were consistent, proved right. Baleba, proved right. Hoyland, proved right. And we are going to put in an imminent bid. So how much that's for, it's really difficult to say. Let's have a little look. What else we've got in here? Dennis says maybe because we have to borrow to do the Baleba deal, we might be waiting to offload the Lamens deal. Potentially, my friend. Most of the fan base think what you need to pay for best in class. United spent money on the market. We can borrow him. There are plenty of cheap profiles similar to Baleba in France. There is a Camara Monaco at Rennes, Agum at Lille, Agum Monaco, Hackney at Borough, but none of these players would make an instant impact. And Danny B, I think my friend, you make an absolute brilliant point. So Baleba is obviously considered Premier League proven, considered not the finished player, but considered worthy of that, right? And Danny B, I'd like us to bring in additional players like what you've mentioned. So next season, I'd like to see us bring in these sorts of players. I'd like us to see us bring in an Agum. I'd like us to think, how much do you think the bid is? I think the bid, I'm with Danny on this one. I think the bid's going to be 90 plus 15. I think it's going to be 105. I think that Brighton won 120, and I think we're going to go in 105, and I think it's going to end up about 110. So it depends really. It doesn't matter to me in terms of, this sounds weird, right? It doesn't matter to me because ultimately I'm not spending the money, right? It matters to me if it stops us from buying a goalkeeper. That's when it matters to me. What about Martinez from Aston Villa? No worry, Jetta. What about, I think that Martinez, again, I'd be happy. Anything but Onana. I think Lamens is the one for me. I think he's got, the beauty of him is that you can bring him in for 17 million. You've got nothing to lose. He comes in, you say, look, number 2 pushing for a number 1 spot. Onana makes a mistake, you put him in goal. You've either got a really good number 2, or you've either got a number 1 in the making that you can have for 10 years. And I think you can't lose on that deal. I think that completely it makes sense for me. Danny B, anything under 100 million is a good deal. I agree. I think it's north of 100. If we can get that bid in and it gets accepted, so the official bid will go in. Is anyone's guess how much that's going to be? Our bids, the deal is done. I reckon it's 110 plus 10. Onana in goal, no problem with the best midfielder in the world. 110 plus 10-ish fan. I think you might be right, mate. I think Brighton are gonna want their deal. They don't have to sell. They're notorious at getting their deal done. Why do we still keep Onana in the squad? King Zena is because basically we don't have a choice, mate. We can force him out. He doesn't want to go. Like so many players, they don't want to go. He's been given a really good wage. He's got a contract, and he doesn't want to go. As Danny B says, nobody wants to buy him. Nobody wants to loan him. The best that we could hope for. This is what I hope for with Onana. So this is a prediction that I think I might be wrong on. Hopefully wrong on. So Lamens for me, I think I want him to come in. I don't think he's coming in just yet. So what I then hope is that Onana has a blinding season and then we sell him. Irrespective of whether Onana has, if Onana has a world-class season, we get rid of him. I don't care because he's not going to be consistent. Onana's not going to be consistent, and I think that we should get rid of him. Rates are too high. I agree. Then Dennis Sasha, when a player is consistent, it doesn't matter about his price. Exactly. You know, and I'll explain what I am and why I'm comfortable with 120 million for that player, and then you can tell me if you like what you think about the deal. So, in my opinion, it's a good business deal. It's a good Ineos deal, right? So why I say that he's 21 years old. You look at now what bigger clubs are doing. They're buying young talent. New Crow says the best use of him as an agent to get in Burmo and finally Baleba too. Neil, one of the legends of the chat as well now, is that say if you have him for 10 years, okay, even if you have him for 7 years, I think we'd probably do a 5-year deal. I think we'll do a 5-year deal. So you do say 20 odd million a year. That's not going to break the bank, right? And then after 5 years or 4 years, when he's done, okay, say if he does okay and he's a good player, you're either going to make your money back. So what you've done is you've basically effectively bought him for like 120 million. You've paid it off. So any money that you then get back is not profit, but you get the money back. Or even if you say sell him for 70 million, you've only paid 50 million pounds for him over 5 years. That's 10 million pound a year. So it makes complete sense. He's young enough. Even if he stayed for 7 years, right, he's going to be 28 in his prime. These sorts of players are very fit and they tend to play well into their 30s. So if he does well, he could play for this club for over 10 years. You know, he could be that mainstay, you know, and then 120 million over 10 years is nothing. You know, you look at the impact as well. If we get to Champions League, you almost make that money back. You know, if he gets to the Champions League, or if he's one of the players that then wins you the league or gets you up that league, you know, bringing in more brand deals because we're winning, I think it's an investment that we need to make. But don't forget, we've never replaced Roy Keane. As sad as that sounds, we've never really replaced Keane, Carrick. We've never replaced those players. So I think it's about time that we do. And 120 million seems like a high price for him. But for me, 100% not. I think it's a good deal. I now want to change everything. I want Baleba, Manu, Brian in the midfield with Ahmad in the 10. That fixes the engine room of the team. I do think Ahmad's better in the 10. I don't disagree with that, my friend. I think Ahmad's better in the 10. I mean, Amrin's not going to chat. What we're going to find, Bobby, legend of the chat, hello, my friend. And it's still a big if we sign Baleba, do you think we'll target more of a backup to him next season? Yeah, I do. I think Wharton wouldn't be a backup. I think Wharton would be a Bruno replacement. I think if Bruno goes, then we do a Bruno replacement. I think that is where we go on that one next season. I think you could sell him to Saudi. Do you you believe Manchester will sign Baleba? Yes, I do. The official bid. So yesterday, if you watched the video from yesterday, a bid's gone in already. In terms of we've been talking to Brighton, and we've already put in a bid. Right, this is what we do. We put in unofficial bids. We talk to Brighton. That's what happened yesterday. We put in a bid, and then we go to Brighton. Look, if we go 105, are you gonna accept it? They'll go, we want 120 million. Hedge your bets. Okay. So now what's happened is that's gone back to the board, because if you think about it, it needs a board decision here, because it's going to be a world record for an African player, I believe. The board needs to agree on this one, right? So they've gone, okay, so an official bid will go in today. An official bid is going to go in. Brighton are there's going to come a point where the price is going to be like 120 million is going to be it's going to be there or thereabouts, but I think 110 possibly. But yeah, an official bid is going to go in. The deal's done. The bids are going in, which means it's definitely happening. JB was right again. Niche fan, this is what we're doing here, mate. We talk about it. as we say, right, some of us have been watching football for 38 years, right? And we talk about this stuff, right? And there's no coincidence that people like yourself, people have said other things on here as well, but the plays that we're going to go for, sometimes I'm right, sometimes the chat's right. That is what happens when you follow, when you believe, when you look at what's happened. There's been, what, 20, not, it's been 25, what, how many years of the Premier League is it? 30 years of the Premier League, probably even more than that. When you've watched football for 38 years, you can see this stuff. It is not new, and then when you follow X, it sort of makes it easier when you use what you believe is right, and what's happened over the years, and you look at the clubs that you're dealing with and the noise and what comes out. You can predict this stuff, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. But so far, we've been pretty accurate on here, and that's thanks to the chat. That's thanks to experience, and that's thanks to the chat. And that's all it is. I go with what I believe is right, and we go with the chat. And this is sort of where we go in it. David, so the good thing about Baleba deal is that he will be on low wages. Exactly, the wage won't be exactly, my friend. Costa says all I want is Baleba, no matter the price. We just need to break the bank. Costa, I think you're going to get your wish, my friend. But dear Leo, check him out. JB, I'd go and get him in January. Danny B, as always, my friend. I think it's a competition sometimes with you and Joel. I think it is for your names. Amazing. I'll check him out. Nicholas Rupp said, is the Donna deal in place? Was Tiki? No. Nicholas, sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong, my friend. Yeah, I think we inquired, but we were never in for him. We were in for him in the sense that you've got to go and talk to the player. You've got to go and talk to the player, right? You have to go and talk to the player. When a perceived world-class keeper comes up, you've got to talk to him, okay? But I think we were quickly out of that deal because it's too expensive to do. We've got a structure in place. If you look at his history of what he does, and this is not sour grapes. This is fact. This is out there. He runs his contract down. He may go to City, and he might be at City for 10 years. For me, he's a City goalkeeper. I think City do really well with their keepers, and they need a new number one. Trafford has gone there. I feel sorry for Trafford. That's the reason why he left before, was because Edison he came into the squad. So I feel really bad for him. I'd be going mental if I was him. I'd be going crazy. So yeah, I think City's the one. I do like. We can't let Baleba go this summer because next summer exactly. I think he's done, my friend. New Crow, 33 years old. Demanda the deal's done, the bids going in, my friend. I'm hopeful. I think FIFA should come in, otherwise players' value are getting out of hand. It's a buyer's market, Boris. I mean, you can't, the problem with football for me is that we live in a capitalist country, right? And it's a buyer's market. And, I do believe that prices are getting sky high. But factually, and at the end of the day, it's not like, if fans, ultimately, it's only as successful because of fans make it, right? And then you get brand deals, you get fan deal, fans buying merch and whatever else. And is it getting crazy? Yes, it is. But ultimately, FIFA are never going to come in because FIFA get the cut of the money, right? And I think the moment you start, well, they sort of have in some respects, because you've got FFP and you've got everything else that's in place in PSR and FFP, so they are trying to sort of cap prices as such. But all that's doing is making the bigger club stronger. You look at Villa having to sell players. It was ridiculous that Villa had a cracking season, and they had to sell their players. I think there is a wage cap, and sadly, I think unless you're a rich club to begin with or a big club to begin with, it penalises you. So I think you're right in some respects, but until football as a whole caps the whole thing, I just don't think that's ever going to happen. We are dreadful to start a season, lost to Sheffield United and Everton at exactly nil. So I think we can draw against Arsenal, or we may catch some cold. Jamie Vargas, Baleba, 75 to 25 million add-ons over 5 years. Mate, I tell you what, if we get that deal across the line, we've Ineos are cooking. I'd even hold my hands up and say Ineos are cooking at that price. I think that would be an amazing deal for them. Niche fan would be 130k a week. Who would you start for United on Sunday? So who would I start? Okay, I think Shesko. I would start Shesko up front. I'd then go Cunha and Burmo behind him. Bruno is going to play, so he's going to play in the number 8. Ugarte then's going to have to play for me. I'd go Dorgu, left wing back. I'd go Ahmad, right wing back. I'd go Yoro, Delict, and one of Heaven and Mazraoui. That's what I'd go for. I think we should go for it. I just don't. We're at home, I can see him playing at the low or a Shaw down that left hand side. I think that would be a mistake. I can see him playing a Casemiro. I can see him playing a Casemiro because Casemiro sits back. I don't know. What I think he'll do is I think he'll put Mason Mount in the number 10 within Burmo and put Cunha up front. That's what I think he'll do. I think he'll play a Dorgu. I think he'll play a Delo. I think he'll play a Shaw. I think he might play Maguire. And I think he'll play a Euro. I think he'll play a defensive back 5. I think he'll play defensive wing backs. I think they'll go to left and right backs, and he'll play with a back 5. I'm not up for that, but that's what I think he'll do. Hope he signs for 5 years. Yeah, I think he will. Costa Casamba. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, my friend. Baleba will transform our midfield and bring the best out of Manu because he's the missing piece. Manu, for me, I want Manu in that team. I really do. I want him to do well. But whilst Bruno's still in this team, this is what I wanted him to give chances, to put money in the bank and give other players like Manu a chance. But while Manu's going to be the understudy for Bruno, I think, possibly Ugarte. But then what will happen when Baleba comes in, Ugarte will be the understudy to Baleba, then Manu will be the understudy to Bruno. That is what I think that will do, but I agree. I think Manu needs a chance this season, or he's going to end up like so many players that we've brought through and we just couldn't bring through because we've got a stubborn manager. My idea is the next talent to come out of France is the same club, pretty sure, and Baleba. Again, I really hope we go for those sorts of players. Neil Crow, would you like to take Edison at United? I don't see it happen. Yeah, I would. If Baleba, I think we need a pivot. I think we need a proper pivot. Edison, Wharton. I'd like to see Wharton in there. Take Fernandez out. Sell Fernandez for me. And then bring in a Wharton, bring in an Edison, bring in another pivot. So we've got a strong. Baleba gives you that tackling, that ball retention, that ball progression forward, but a tackling defensive midfielder. And then we sort of need a good tackling number 8, but who actually brings the ball out. Who's good with passing. Who's better with the passing. And can bring the ball out box to box. If you have just joined, don't forget to give us a like, favourite, and subscribe. Just press the like button. It's just there. Just give it a press. We're going to put in an official bid. I don't know if we've done that already whilst I've been live. Amrin has gone to the board. The board, big up legend JB and all the chat. Rob, welcome there, my buddy. Baleba, there's an official bid gone in. Going to go in. I don't know if it's gone in as of like right now because I just can't see. But an official bid is going to go in. Amrin went to the board. It's a board decision to agree for this player. So they've got a rolling credit facility. They are going to go in for this player. They want this player. Baleba, I think he's seen as basically a opportunity to go and get him. I think we're going to go all out. I think we'll do what it takes. The fact it's gone to the board. The board have agreed. An imminent bid is going to go into Brighton. I'm excited to see how much he's going to be for. That's what I'm excited to see. Are we going to go in like a boss and go, look, here's like 110 million. Come on, let's just do this deal. Are we going to try to go 85 plus 20 and they go no, and then we'll go up to I don't think I think we'll spend a little bit of time trying to do this deal, but we are going to get this deal done. Baleba, menu, I want Bruno bench now. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Boris, you nailed it. Capitalism is the worst. Otherwise, FFP is doing a wonderful work. It's the place cap. Exactly, my friend. It is what it is, right? We live in that sort of country. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's all about profit over people. So Nicholas Rupture says it's true that Barca had a plan with Šeško as a successor. Is it true? I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me, my friend. He does have a Lewandowski characteristic to him. He's quite tall. He's rangy. I can't remember Lewandowski's when he was that age, if he was prolific as he is now or was. But I can see Šeško of that sort of ilk playing until he's 34. He's long, rangy striker. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Ekitike's come from the Bundesliga. Didn't score as many goals, and he looks pretty decent. So I think Šeško is a better player than him. I think I'd love. This is what I'd love, right? Stick a like on the video, right? If you agree, you want to see Šeško score the winning goal. I want to see Šeško score the winning goal against Arsenal. Even just stick a like for that. We want to see Šeško scoring the winning goal. When is the closed doors game happening before the Arsenal game? It's a good question. Probably tomorrow, I should imagine. It's probably tomorrow. Either tonight or tomorrow, because you're going to need a recovery day. No, we're playing on Sunday, aren't we? Either tomorrow or Friday, I should imagine. Because obviously we're going to need a day to recover, right? I'd start Xerxes, then bring Šeško to complete, make Arsenal. Nishfan, I don't agree. I think Xerxes injured, my friend. I don't think he's not really had a pre-season. I don't think he's fit enough. I think he'll make some cameos, but I don't think he's fit enough. I'd rather play a proper striker. But I think we just give Šeško a go. I do. I just say Šeško's had a pre-season. Bring him in. Bring Šeško in. I'd love to see Baleba in, of course, but that's not going to happen. I think for Sunday he will play a false 9 with Mount and Šeško off the bench to score winner. Yeah, Rob, I don't. Oh, mate, can you imagine that? Stick a like on the video for that, right? Šeško comes off the bench. Imagine Gyökeres scores, okay, 1-0 for ages, and then Fernandes scores, right, and then Šeško comes off the bench and scores the winning goal. I mean, come on. That is crazy. Ryan says, hi. Hello, Ryan. Do you back Amrin? Yes, Ryan. I do back him. As I've said, there are many red flags, and you can't back a manager fully in terms of you. I don't agree with the things that he does, but he needs 2 years at this job. I think we're too quick in this fan base to go, even if we finish 10th, right? This is where I'm at. Even if we finished 10th and we had a better season, better players, and we look better, and it was just a case of, say, from 6 to 10, it was just say 8 points. We had a very up and down season. I'd still support him. People would be calling for his head. Baleba comes in, but it needs signings. You got to think about this, right? Baleba comes in, okay. They're all new players. Newcastle have had a settled team for 3-4 years, a settled manager. Villa, the same, really. Brighton, okay, the manager came in last season, but again, they've got a pretty settled squad. We've got a brand new squad, so it's either going to be absolutely amazing, or it's gonna take time to bed in. If you have just joined, obviously I'm going to repeat it because I think it's important. A Baleba bid is imminent. It's official. An official bid is going to go in for Baleba. There was a board conversation, and the fact that the board's come in, Amarin has demanded this. I believe that we will get this done now, unless it's a City come in with 150 million, or Brighton wants something silly. I think that we're all in on this deal. I think even if it's 130, 120, I think that we go in for this deal. So we've been consistent on here. I've been consistent that I think Baleba is going to come in. Each fan, I want Mount and Cunha in the 10s, Man Utd, Baleba, Brian in the engine room. He's going to be the GOAT. 3-1 on Sunday, Jamie. I've heard a couple of 3-1s, mate. I meant Edison City. Oh, Neil, no, not for me, thank you. I get why you would, but nah. I just couldn't, my friend. We get in Champions League next season, peeps. I'm a Belieber. JB, do you back Amarin? And what is your prediction for the season? Please answer. Yeah, Ryan, of course I will do, my friend. I back Amarin. I do. I think I've answered the Amarin bit. I do back him for the reasons I've just said. What's my prediction? If Baleba comes in, I think 5th is possible. I think we finish somewhere between 5th and 8th. And if I'm being pragmatic and I'm true to myself, I think we finish about 7th or 8th. And maybe it's not what people want to hear, but we've still got the same players that finished 15th in this squad. Now, if Mbeumo, Cunha, Shesko have the impact I think they might do, and Baleba will, then I think we'll have a better second half to the season. As soon as these players start to bed in, I think we'll have a better start to the season. Because if you look at pre-season, these players are still trying to find each other. Amarin's still trying to find his best team. You know, he's trying to shoehorn Fernandes into that team. So I think we'll have what I think will happen is we'll have a better start to the season. So we'll have an okay start to the season. We'll have a really good second half to the season, a final push, but we might leave it too late, and we should finish 6th, 5th, but I think we'll finish 7th to 8th. If we finish first, it'd be unbelievable. I demand first place, but it's not going to happen. So I think I'm going to say 8th. I am, because I have to be true to myself and know what's come before, and I think we're 8th. But guys, this is one time I want to be proved wrong. If you want to call me, no, that's mad, I'm happy with that one. I'd love to finish high up the league. This is one time where I want you guys to be right. Shesko needing to come to the pitch second half. I'm watching against Arsenal defenders, but yeah, exactly. Cyril, hi my friend. I'm a Belieber and will be a Red soon. I agree with you. Brighton are the Borussia Dortmund of the league. They don't buy stars, they make them. I think, Jamie, that's a really good point to make, my friend. I won't put a bid in place to January whoever Brighton used to replace Baleba. I want to put in a bid in January, yeah. I don't think you're wrong. Hello, good afternoon, mister. Good afternoon. What's the level regarding Baleba? Okay, so let's go over it again. An official bid is imminent. I don't know if this has happened whilst we're live. An official bid's going to go in. There was a board meeting yesterday, and the board have agreed to go for it. Basically, I'm going to have agreed to go for it. So official bid is going to go in today, tomorrow, and we're going to see what that is. So as I've remained consistent, I think we are going to get him. I think it's going to be quite a high price, maybe 90 plus 20. I don't know, 100 plus 15, but we'll see. We don't put bids in unless we've already sort of semi-agreed a deal. We've already put a bid in. Don't be confused on this one. We've already put in a bid. The bid is already in, but we don't put in official bids until we kind of know it's going to be accepted. So I think that's where we are on that one. I just signed a deal with Coke. Again, these deals are happening. Better the dog. What about Lewandowski? Different player. Shesko is a more complete player. You will see him. He's good. I hope so. Just give us your prediction on transfer of Believer or with the percentage. Okay, I am 90%. and I have to leave a fraction in there because Brighton could go, we won 150. Okay, it's not inconceivable the City come in and go, look, we won him for 140. We'll pay whatever it takes. I don't think they will. So no, my heart says 100%, but I can't be 100%. So my head is not 90%. I leave a little 10% in there because you've got to. We have been consistent on this on here for quite some time that we believe that we're going to get this player. We've been consistent on this on here, and that is where I think we are. It's basically, here we go, exactly niche. Dean Gray's United is my heaven. Sharam High, finally, here we go soon. I think it'll be done before the Arsenal game. I hope so. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Need good players to settle players. Cristiano was not settled. Exactly. I agree with you there. I think we need good players to settle players. Love how Amrin is making demands. Baleba, is it possible? Trezid, mate, it's more than possible. I think we're going to get him. Go back and watch our videos. Ross Harwood, I'll give him another shout out as well. He's been consistent on this. We've been consistent on this. An official bid will go in, and I think that we will get him. I don't think we're going to mess around in this one. I think we will get him in. Bella Dogs is 5th to 8th. Neil Crow, no chance it's done before we kick off against Arsenal this deal. Yeah, Neil, I think I'm with you on that one. Start with a bang. Let's beat Arsenal. I hope so. Shesko will start straight away. I hope so, my friends. Baleba will get 4th or 5th. Shesko gets 30 goes. Niche fan, mate. I love it. I love your mindset. I really do. I think it's brilliant. I'd love it to be true, my friend. Yeah, Curtis Jones. Who would Baleba start ahead of Ugarte? He's too good and young to be in the bench. Ugarte is going to be a utility player. I think, my friend. I think for example, if Bruno was to get injured or Cunha in Burma and you push Bruno up, you either put in Ugarte in the pivot and you put Baleba and tell him like you can be that sort of number 8 position. I don't think he is, but I think that's what it will be. Or a main winner. So for me, Ugarte is an all-round bench player, and he comes on for a bit here and there. Baleba is willing to come, absolutely. Chester's going to be an absolute goal machine. She says hi, Leah Curtis. How do we have the money for this? So Leo, we've got a credit facility, mate. We've got a better credit facility now. Exactly. Dehexion is spot on. Ishmael, just accept your destiny of loser and stop giving yourself fake hope. Ishmael, welcome to the chat. As I always say, banter is welcome here, as long as we are just respectful in the chat to each other. I don't think your comment is disrespectful, really. But he's taken his comment away. Never mind. New Carrington is the bollocks. I reckon Baleba, exactly. Henry Maguire, hello. Ishmael, bye. Goodbye, Ishmael. See you later, mate. Looking back in hindsight, we should have signed Lewandowski in the summer. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah. Alan Wilson says hi. Hello, my friend. Hope you're doing really well today. Any keeper we're linked to? Yeah, Lemens, Emi Martinez. I think those are the two that we're linked to. I think that is where we'll settle. Dominic Reyes says hi. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing really, really, really well. Those of you in the chat, give us a like. Give us a like, even just for the official bid, right? The official bid is going to go in. It's imminent. The board has agreed this. Amrin has demanded this. The board has agreed this. An official bid is going to go in. It's going to be ready. So I would say get ready. Newcastle are on meltdown right now. I agree with you, my friend, on this one. So again, guys, breaking news. Imminent deal for Baleba. Just remember, look at our videos. Give this community Boo United. New Elisa. You're welcome here, my friend. I think we should go for Martinez. Agree. New Elisa, what are you? Newcastle fan? Are you a Liverpool fan? Just get in there. Any news on Haaland deal loan? Yeah, Slippy Walnut. Great name, by the way. Love it. So as we reported this morning, breaking news, Højlund is going to go to AC Milan. That's where he's going. That deal's going to, I think what we're going to have next couple of days, we're going to have, obviously, Fabricio Ornstein, that's what we're going to have. What we're going to have is, they're going to say, Højlund is AC Milan, 6 million loan fee with a 40 million option to buy. So it's not an obligation, my friend. It's an option to buy, and that's where we are with that. Nathan, following from Kenya. Welcome here, my friend from Kenya. Keep the content coming. I will try as I might. Luskin says, new releaser, go fly a kite, my guy. I love it, love it, love it. Niche fan, oh my God, imagine if we got Donna, we'd be completely back. Donna, mate, is going to go City. I think Shivram, Coca-Cola signed a 3-year deal. Exactly. Guess the money for Baleba. Good afternoon. Joel, keep things rolling. This is major. United has gone into partnership with Coca-Cola. Exactly. It's going to be huge. I think they would concentrate on all outgoings rather than incomings after this. Yeah, I agree. Someone whose team will finish below United. Villa, Leeds, Brighton will probably finish. Maybe not. Chevron Husk, Coca-Cola. Slippy one. We need an obligation to buy. I do, mate, but I don't think we're going to have that. Are we possibly going to sign Believer before the start of the Premier League? No, my friend, it's not going to happen. I think it's going to take a couple of days to get that deal done. So that is where we are in it, guys. I'm going to go. It's been an hour. It's been a fantastic hour. I can only thank you all for being here. It means so much to me. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the chat. I mean, I'll always say this, okay? It's really important to me to say this. One thing in life you can't buy is time, okay? And the fact you've given me your time, you've commented, you've given the chat time as well, it means more to me than you'll ever know. It means so much to this channel. I can't express to you what it means to me and this channel, to be in this community. We're growing this channel, we're growing this community, thanks to everybody on here, and it's just amazing, and it blows my mind every single time. So guys, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. My X and my Outlook is basically like there. Gary from Uganda, legend. So Shikama Bembe from Uganda, you're welcome here, my friend. Yeah, give us a like on the video. Amazing stuff, guys. You are amazing community. We're like a family. Please feel free to come back. I'm going to try to do the Arsenal game. I am away, so what you probably see is you'll see me probably at an airport next or something like that. So be safe, guys. Take care of each other, and I'll see you very, very soon. Love you guys. Take care. See you soon.